Welcome to Caldwell County Today. My name is Paige Counts, and I'm Public Information Officer for Caldwell County. Joining me today are Josh Engel and Wayne Rash. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, Paige.
Good to have you here, and we're here to talk about something that's really important right now to the people of Caldwell County, and that's tax revaluation. And when I say that, I know a lot of people in our audience probably cringe because there's a lot of information being spread out there, but today we want to talk about how we got to these numbers and kind of what it means looking forward. So Josh, I'm going to start with you as tax administrator.
Okay.
Explain to us what a revaluation is and kind of how that works as far as how do you get to these numbers?
Well, I think a good way to try to start with that is looking at history and a little bit of Caldwell County. There was a 1997 revaluation, 2001, 2005, and then we jumped to 2013, and 2021 was our last one. So why are we doing a 2025? Well, the market increase is what's made the county have to do this. It's due to state law. We have to do a new revaluation. Since the 2021 revaluation, though, our office has been very busy. We've been looking at a lot of field visits, reviewing aerial changes, checking up on permits. We've saw quite a bit of those. And so that's a little bit about what goes on with the revaluation. At that time, tax assessments are supposed to be 100% of market value, which would mean the probability of what you would get for your house if you were looking to sell it.
So you have seen, not you personally, but your team, they've seen the properties.
Yes, it's something we've tried to go through. Now, obviously, from a tax assessment standpoint, nobody typically invites you in with coffee to take a look around and stuff like that. So we could have some things that might not be completely accurate, but absolutely, we have saw almost every property. Seems like there's a lot of gates in Caldwell County, so on those we have to do some aerial photography and things like that, but absolutely we have.
And I have joked as public information officer that Josh is my GoFundMe. This is how the county gets money to operate. So talk to me a little bit about the things funded through tax.
Sure. So obviously you've got a lot of things like the sheriff's department. You've got a lot of things like emergency management, health department, public schools, the community college, library, different things like that that's funded through taxation. Of course, with the tax values, though, the value is just one part of that. So the tax value is necessary, again, due to the state law, and I'll reference that. It's 105-286 for the educated audience that wants to check into that. But absolutely, that's a lot of the things that taxes do. And
for some people, we have some exemptions, some ways to ease the tax burden a little bit, like your elderly program for your elderly residents. So can you give us just a big picture on that?
Yes, and speaking of state law, these are state programs. And I've actually brought a pamphlet that's available with my office. If you'd like to stop by, feel free to come by. We'll be glad to talk with you about those. One of them, and I'll just turn to them to make sure we get some information that's pertinent, is the elderly exclusion. Once someone is 65 or older, and they've got an income threshold of not exceeding $37,900, they can apply for this, and it roughly cuts your tax bill in half, just as a ballpark. Other programs in this same pamphlet is we've got the disabled veteran, to where we can take care of some accommodations there towards the tax bill. Other stuff like circuit breaker and things like that are available as well. And again, these are state programs that Caldwell County tries to make sure our citizens are aware of.
But you said tax bill. These are not tax bills that have gone out in the mail.
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up. Matter of fact, I brought a notice with me of what a lot of our citizens are going to receive in the mail. And up in the top right corner of this notice, it says, "This is not a tax bill." And so the value is just one part of how a tax bill is put together. And matter of fact, Mr. Wayne Rash might be able to elaborate a little bit more on that topic.
Because this just sets the property value, and that's 100% of your assessed value, correct? I mean,
absolutely. 100% of the market value.
100% of the market value. You can tell I'm not a tax person, but okay, 100% of the market value. Your tax rate is a totally different thing. Wayne, talk about what that tax rate does and how that sets.
Sure. Yeah, and so Josh is very correct in his statement. This is one part of the process. By state law, we have to do this. We have to reevaluate all the property every so many years. We're on the 4-year cycle, which is what we're required to do. But what happens from there is these values are taken into consideration then as we start to develop the budget. We'll start that process in March. We reach out to all the county departments. We reach out to all the agencies such as the school system, the community college, other folks that are funded through county funds, and we get all of those budget requests in, and then the commissioners go through all of that, and they will set a tax rate based upon those funding requests. And so they use the values as they determine the tax rate, but that is a totally separate process from this. So what we want to assure people is just because your value is going up this amount doesn't mean that your taxes are.
Right, and that tax rate is set in June?
It'll be voted on in June, yes, at the commissioners' meeting in June.
So this just gives you your property value.
Absolutely.
We want to make sure of that. Also, for people whose property was damaged during Helene, you want to talk to them, right, Josh?
Absolutely, because we want to make sure any damage is reflective, because that's part of your assessment, making sure it's fair and equitable. If you do have Hurricane Helene damage and it has not been repaired as of January 1st, 2025, I encourage you to call our office and let us know, because we want to make sure that is documented and you're assessed fairly based off the damage that you've received to your property.
If people feel their assessment is unfair, what can they do?
There's a process with the appeals. Right now, we're in the stage of taking what we call an informal appeal. You can simply call our office. It's very easy to do. You can simply fill out the bottom of the page of the notice that you received in the mail. And we will take a look at that. You know, anything that you can provide us with market data, which is something that we take high priority. Anything that's maybe your basement's not finished or something like that, or you don't have an upper story in your house, different things like that we need to know about if that's not correct based off the tax card.
So this is an opportunity to reach out to the tax department and they will be able to help you. Wayne, I want to go back to you because you were talking about setting a tax rate. There's a lot of people that set tax rates. It's not just the commissioners who sit in these seats. Talk about some of those other places where tax rates are set.
Right. And that's a point we want to make to folks is the county commissioners are not the only people that determine what your tax rates are. Obviously, they set the county tax rate, but if you live in a municipality, each of those municipalities also set their own rates. And local fire districts in unincorporated areas of our county, they also have a hand in setting their own tax rate. And so it's one of those things that the commissioners aren't responsible for all of it. So we would encourage folks, certainly contact us if you have questions about the county, but if you have questions about a municipality you live in, or if you have questions about a fire district, reach out to those folks as well. I'm sure they would be more than happy to talk to their citizens as well.
And it's really just about being able to continue to provide the services to the people of Caldwell County.
Right, absolutely. And let me make a couple of points about this, if that's okay,
Sure.
too. We realize this may be a shock to people. I mean, it's a big increase. And, if folks have not tried to buy or sell a house in the last couple of years, or if they're not in the industry, Josh sees this in the tax department. I see it as deeds come in the register of deeds office. People who do mortgages or people who are in the real estate industry see where the market is, but most of our citizens may not, and that's okay. We understand that, and so it's a shock to them. But this is also one way to think of it is this is a really good sign for our county. Because these values, this is where the values are. This is where, as Josh said, this is where the real estate industry is. If you're trying to buy or sell a home in Caldwell County right now, you're going to find these prices. But that's a good sign for us. That means that people want to be a part of Caldwell County. People want to invest in our real estate in our county and in our, and in the end of the day, that brings jobs, that brings opportunities to the people in our county. So you never want values to go backwards. If you're wanting to buy or sell your, or certainly sell your home, maybe not when you're buying a home, but if you're looking to sell your home, you want the value to be as much as it possibly can be. If you're buying one, again, it's a good sign for where we are in our economy. So, again, we understand where it is, but the market, I guess the point we're trying to make is the market has changed, and it's changed dramatically over the last few years. By law, we have to do this. It's not, we didn't wake up one morning and say, hey, we just want to change everybody's values. We have to do this. But it's one of those things that we're trying to make the impact, as little as possible. With all that being said, again, as we talked about, this is one step in the process. The commissioners will be developing the budget. And I want to assure people of something that as commissioners look at this budget, and I know I've talked to all of them, it's highly likely that we'll adopt a budget where the tax rate is decreased to help offset some of this increase in these values. I can assure you your commissioners are looking at this very closely. I can assure you they are hearing what people are saying. I can assure you that they are on top of this, and I can also assure you that they're committed to keeping the cost as low as they can, keeping the tax rate as low as absolutely possible, keeping that tradition of fiscal conservatism here in Caldwell County that we've had for years and years. And so I just want people to understand that, this is one step of the process. We'll be looking at tax rates. I think it's very easy to say that those rates are going to come down. And so we're going to try to do everything that we possibly can to help offset the impact of the increase in the value.
And I think both of you, or maybe even all three of us, can speak to this. Caldwell County has been very fiscally conservative.
Absolutely.
I know last year when we were doing a budget, even before it got to commissioners, department heads were asked to cut your budget.
Right. I think we cut almost $1 million out of the budget just in that one exercise. So. That's and that wasn't fluff in the budget. I know from my departmental budget, we cut some things that were necessary things, but we were asked to, and so we did that. And I think that is the case. I think the county over the course of years and years has done a very good job of trying to keep the tax rate low, keep expenses to an absolute minimum, and doing everything that we can to we understand it's taxpayer money. We're in the same boat. We pay taxes just like everybody else, and none of us want to see our taxes go up either, do we?
No.
Yeah.
So, just to let folks know that we do really try
Absolutely.
to reach out and cut our budgets and be fiscally responsible and treat it. I look at my budget like that's my money.
Absolutely.
No, it's county money, but that's my money, and how would I want it spent? So.
Sure.
Gentlemen, what have we forgotten to talk about? I feel like there's so much in this, but I don't want to overwhelm people with all these details.
Sure. I'd encourage you to read both sides of your notice that you receive in the mail. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our office. We've put a few different numbers to contact. You're welcome to call our office. We'll try to explain something if you've got some questions about it. But outside of that, knowing that the mandate for us to do a 4-year revaluation was present, our office is trying to do the best thing we can to abide by state law and serve the citizens of Caldwell County.
And I guess on behalf of Josh's office, because they are taking a lot of phone calls, I would ask people to be patient when they call, because, they can only talk to one person. Each appraiser can only talk to one person at a time, so patience is much appreciated.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And again, just to say, if folks have questions about their value, give us a call. We don't mind that at all. And again, we're going to be working to reduce those tax rates. So folks there's as little impact by this as possible.
Thank you both for being with me.
Absolutely.
Talking about revaluation and how it works.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Paige. I appreciate it.
And thank you for watching Caldwell County Today.